Okay, so thank you guys for coming. And I'm going to start with you, Claudia, because I don't know if you heard my live earlier today where I said that I was being woken up by spirit all night long and they were having me pray and whatnot. Anyway, I'm not going to go back into that. You bought your ticket last night. And
Yeah.
so your name was one of the ones that was in my prayer roll in the middle of my sleep last night, and I think it's your grandma that's on the other side, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So she's like participated in that last night. So we're gonna get that energy out of the way and jump right to you,
Sounds
because
good.
right away I wasn't sure what she was talking about. If you're like pregnant or if there was a baby scare or something, because she kept showing me another baby and a pregnant tummy.
Interesting. Not that I know of. It's in the plan for like to try in November.
Oh, it's coming up in okay.
Yeah.
See, she's on it. She's all excited. Like she had me put you on like the prayer list that I was praying. So it makes me sound crazy, but in sometimes when I'm sleeping, I see the deadline up and give me their orders of what they need me to do. She's like, you put her on the prayer list because there's a baby coming up, and I saw the pregnant baby, and she's getting ready to be ready for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't even connected yet. She's already because she was connected there. Let's connect now because she's in my head
Okay.
talking. Both feet flat on the floor.
Yeah, there.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, picturing it start at your big toe. Pull it all the way up through your body and then blow it directly towards me. I love your loved ones sometimes. All they want to do is just give you little validations of things that are going on in your world that I can't know. Just like that, the pregnancy thing, of how she's showing up in my dreams the night before to let you know that she's ready for you to be ready for this new child to come in. Slow this down. She's just all getting all excited about the babies and about what's going on in your world right now. And she's showing me something about, because see, I've read for her before, so she's not telling me how she died and all that again.
No.
She's talking about rearranging something and it feels like a celebration. She's like, yes. And she like helped with that. It's almost like work was rearranged or something. Like I don't have to take that path. I can take this path because we made a new plan.
I'm working on it right now, actually.
You know what
I don't
she's
know what we're,
talking.
yeah, we're trying to figure out what we're doing for work. It's not going to be the exact same for sure.
That's perfect because you're making room for this child that's coming in.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I know your baby's not even old enough to like walk or, well, is he's not walking yet, right? He's not even,
Almost. He's 9 months.
I was gonna
And
say
so,
he's not a year old yet.
no, not yet.
Um, because I feel like your grandma just said that she said it has to be a boy. We're sending another boy because we can
Oh,
hear his prayers. And I'm like, whose prayers? And I'm like, the baby's? The baby's not even walking yet. I feel like his brother's coming in, and these two are
okay.
like his best friend, his like everything in this world is about to be born. And they are so excited about that. And I think that's what your grandma needs you to know is that yes, your girl's coming. Yes, she's going to be there, but they want to answer your son's prayers. He needs his best friend here. That's kind of
Okay.
like the way that I heard that.
That's good to know.
She's like, wait till you see how close these boys are going to be. They're not going to look anything alike. One's going to be like short and chubby, and the other's going to be tall and thin almost. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they're going to look very different, but they've spent many lifetimes together, and that's what she's getting very excited to let you know. That, and she's aware of the rearrangement of stuff and that she's helping with that. Slow that down. She's got the rose, which is birthday, anniversary, or a date that happens once a year. Um, I've been seeing that a lot today, but a lot of times they're just talking about kids going back to school, and that's not the case here. He's 9 months old. So there's got to be a birthday, an anniversary, or something that is coming up or just passed. Here's the thing, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a day to be remembered, but she's connecting me to your husband. Did something just happen with your husband?
We went to Nova Scotia to celebrate my mom and my grandmother's passing. So that was in July. I just
That
don't know.
that's not connected to your
Oh,
husband.
our anniversary is next week. There you go.
Stop.
Yeah. It's on Tuesday. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. She's giving you guys the rose. She's standing there with the rose. It means birthday, anniversary, or a
there we go.
date
Yeah.
that happens once a year. And I'm like, it doesn't feel like a birthday. It really doesn't feel like that. It feels like a special day. And she's like bringing your husband. It's connected to your husband.
Yep.
She's wishing you guys a happy anniversary,
Awesome.
saying this is her gift. Like that, however, this is being lined up is going to be a lot more financially beneficial for you than what you're expecting, is the way it
Okay.
feels like it's coming in. Like there's something about his job being shifted but moved up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's going for a hip transplant in November, so it's gonna shift.
I didn't get it's interesting that you say it that way because sometimes things will happen in our world and that's exactly what I was talking about on my live, like with my son who dropped like his bag and spilt water everywhere and I'm like, "Yay, hallelujah, this is happening for you. Now you're going to have on a different train and you're going to line up with different people and God's taking you off the path that you were on to put you on a different path where what you've asked for is." Something like that is going on with your husband, because as soon as you said that, I felt twofold energy. One, I felt it's weird the way they show me things. It's like the horse track where the gates just open
Oh
and
yeah.
you're able
Yep,
to run again. It's like I felt the gates open and he's going to be able to move again. But two, the delay is actually going to put him ahead of where he would have been had this not happened in his world.
that makes sense.
Trust that flow. Make sure he takes you out for your birth or for your anniversary. Make sure you celebrate that. She
Okay,
goes, she goes, if you don't celebrate it, if you don't milk that, then it will die.
that's
And
fair.
if you make excuses now, then you're going to continue to make excuses as your children gets older. There's always going to be a reason not to celebrate it, but it's and the more years that go by that if you don't celebrate it the less expected it will be and the magic goes out. She's like, don't let that happen. You too. She's telling me how cute you guys are together, that you guys are very much in love, and she wants to make sure that you guys keep milking that, especially because your grandma's funny. She's like, he's not the only one that needs milk that. As she's starting to pull her energy back a little bit, she's giving you reassurance. It's interesting. As we first connected here, you had to adjust the camera a little bit, and you didn't say anything out loud, but I knew it's because you're feeding baby, right? And I don't think that's an accident. She wanted to bring my attention to that because she just showed me that again. And she goes, could you just give her some reassurance? He's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. There's something you're thinking about switching off of that or trying to like move off of that, and especially at nighttime. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
But it feels like you have some anxiety about it or some, I don't know what that is, but I can feel the distorted energy around that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get us because I supplement with formula too, so I'm trying to get off the formula. But I don't know that it eats enough nutrition during the day to not warrant the formula with breast milk.
She's telling you to just relax about it. He's incorporating food and stuff now anyway, so it's not as important as it was in the beginning days, and that he feels like a big boy, just to be honest, because
Yeah,
she keeps
he is.
taking out the growth chart and showing me the 90th percentile, like that
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
he's tall.
She's not missing any of it. Aw. Well, do you have any questions for her while I pull a card for you, as I said I would?
Not so much for her, but his mom around.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Isn't
Does she
that
have
fun?
anything?
So you know what? Sometimes that happens. I feel the female figure above you. I feel the
Yeah.
mother figure above you, and I just assume who it is. Uh,
Okay. Or
and
is that all mom?
a good deal of that is your mom. As soon as you said, "Is my mom there?" I saw that energy split.
Okay. So it's both of them. That's fine.
Let me just ask a question to validate that. Her mom is also on the other side, isn't she? Because as
Yeah,
soon as I said that, she showed me this, which is my symbol for connection, that they've reconnected on that side and that they go everywhere together. It feels so good to be reunited and reconnected. So either they didn't get along so well in the physical world and they've reconnected on that side in that way, or they spent a long time apart and it
they
feels
did.
so good to be together again that they're not willing to let go of each other.
Yeah. They're physically distant.
Got yeah. They won't
Yeah.
that'll happen. I just feel a mother figure and it's so strong, but I don't realize it's two mother figures.
Okay, cool. Then we're good.
So when you say my mom, she's like, of course, like she kind of rolls her eyes at me and then she blasted you with a bit of perfume or a smell, like
Hmm.
something. Um, It definitely feels like it's a perfume smell or something that I don't recognize the smell personally, but when they start throwing smells at you, it's a way to let you know that that familiar smell that you must have smelt recently is their way of like letting you know that she's with you at that moment. So there had
Okay.
to be a time recently, and it feels like, especially when you're snuggled up with baby, that you've got, you smelled something that reminds you of her.
Probably. I don't know. There's a lot of things that remind me.
Okay, mom, be more specific. She's taking me into the middle of the night and I'm waking up in the middle of the night. So, does he wake you up around the same time every morning? It feels like an hour or two
Oh
before
yeah.
I have to get up.
Yeah. Yep. Every morning between 6:30 and 7.
It's almost like if you have to get up at 8, he'll wake you up at 7. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's something around that time.
Hmm.
It almost makes, I almost smell fresh grass, like fresh cut grass. I don't know. That's not perfumey or anything like that, but
Hmm. Now I'm gonna have to keep my sniffer open because I don't know.
smell like, yes, make sure that you're paying attention to those things. I
Okay.
don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain because I sense energy differently than other people. I can taste smells. You know how some people can like see color in notes and stuff
Yep.
like that, music notes? I taste smell. And I know it sounds weird, but so it's hard to explain, right? It just is so dense and heavy. I look at you and go, "What do you mean you don't smell that? Like, what do you mean it's faint? What do you mean? Like, it's there. How are you not smelling that?" I know that your mom is emphasizing she's been trying to communicate with you with smell. She's showing me waking you up in the middle of the, not waking you up, but being up with you when you're waking up slightly before you have to get up. And there being a slight smell of like fresh cut grass or something outside
Okay.
the window. Did your husband just cut the grass like
No,
recently?
but no, I need to cut the grass. I've been saying that, but it hasn't been cut yet.
That's funny. I can smell it. I don't know why. Okay. It's funny. I just said, "Does your husband need to cut the grass?" You said, "No, I do." And she goes, in my head, she goes, "What part of hip replacement didn't you get? Hello." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. This is how you can tell I'm not really paying attention. I'm just saying what they're telling me to say without thinking too much." Oh, okay. So I pulled a card, right? I said, what's
Yep.
coming up for them? I love this. What did I say? I got two energies. I got the gates opening so that he's able to go forward and do what he needs to do. Celebration, being around people, being able to be out and do what I need to do. Friends, family, good time, right? And it's
Awesome.
the end of being stuck.
Oh,
I
that's
believe
really good.
the death card is an ending of some sort and the beginning of something new, which is good because he's going to need all his energy for those two boys. I just started to shuffle again and that card came out again, but this time with the 9 of Cups, which is ready to be ready. That's what this card means. I'm ready to be ready for this chapter of my life to end and a new chapter to come. Okay, I don't understand that. Hold on a second. Your mom's not letting me pull back yet. I think because I was saying grandma the whole time, now she's offended. And she needs to make sure that you understand that she's still there because she's showing me different signs. There is a, She's showing me writing and it feels like paperwork, and I see gratitude. I see thank you. I think you've asked her to help you with some kind of paperwork, or she helped you. I don't know if this is forms, medical forms, what the heck I'm seeing, but filling out some kind of paperwork, and there's a gratitude and a feeling of like doing this with you. Were you doing medical forms or something recently?
I was doing letter writing before my vacation.
What is that? Letter
Uh,
writing.
you write to different facilities and they actually pay you to write letters. So I found a different stream of income.
Oh, that's so cool. Never heard about that before.
Hmm.
So funny. She's taking credit for this. Why? Or she's showing me gratitude for this.
It's going to allow me to stay, only have to work part-time.
Ah, I get ya.
Yeah.
So this is why I say they're talking to you guys, not me. Know that your mom had a hand in that, in bringing that to you. Your job is to say, "This is what I need. I want to stay home and I want to make money and I want to have babies." And she's like, "Okay, well, look, I found a career that's going to let you do just that."
Yeah.
But if you say, I will only stay home and have babies if I find a career that will let me do that, you don't get to find the career first. You have to take the steps in that direction. The baby comes, then the career comes.
Yeah.
It's just temporary, she said, though. It's just temporary. Um, because there, whatever that dream is that you have that's a little bit far off in the goal, like 5, 10 years down the line, she's like, that's gonna roar. But this next decade or so, she's very excited to be in this slow pace and let you know that she's helping bring you what you've asked for.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna let her pull back because if I don't, she's gonna go on forever. She just said, by the way, something about the earrings. You looked pretty when you wore those earrings. I don't think you wear them often. When did you wear earrings the last time?
I don't remember. I didn't even wear earrings for my wedding.
I
Probably
know
when
why
I was
she's saying
five
that.
or six.
I know why she's saying that. You still have the holes in your ears though?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're still there.
Because she's like, as she's pulling her energy back, she's like, remind her how beautiful she looks in those earrings. It's been some time since she put them on and dressed up and felt beautiful.
Mhm.
Convenient that you have a beautiful opportunity to do that in about a week.
Yep, I do.
I love how mamas are always bossing you around, even from the other side. But it's important that you dress up and you look and feel beautiful because
Yeah,
that energy is going to help you to, and your husband to get through this next chapter with ease and no more complications. And just so you know, I'm not sensing them. You're doing a really good job at focusing on what you want to come in because I'm not sensing a lot of that fear that I can feel that was there in the past.
yeah, it was for
Make
sure.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let them pull back now. I hope
Okay.
that was
Thank you
helpful.
so much. It
You're
was.
welcome. Okay, Annette, I got to come to you. Um, I know your son's on the other side. It's so interesting. I got to tell you that as I was setting up here, my sage and blessing, you kind of slipped in at the moment after I was already done my sage and blessing. And I sat down here to load my computer and to actually get set up. And that's when I noticed on my phone that you had messaged me. You bought 2 tickets by accident last time. And so you had a free ticket to use. So I didn't know that you were coming here when I began my sage and blessing, is what I'm trying to say. But as I started my sage and blessing, I kind of, because I've read for you guys before, I'm kind of aware of who these people are. I can kind of recognize them as they start coming in, right? And I
Mhm.
had a young man here, and I was like, okay, you don't match any of the names that are coming through, but my friend Sue here just did what you did last time and bought 2 tickets. So I thought for sure maybe this had to be attached to her, or her friend or whoever she was bringing in, because I didn't recognize this young man. And then I sit down to like do this, and you're like, "Can I use my ticket?" I'm like, how did I not recognize this child? How did I not recognize him? I could feel his soul here before I knew you were here.
That's great.
Okay, do you have a focus or anything you want him to specifically talk about, or just, I know you want to connect with him, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
Or just leave it open and see what he has to say, or have a focus.
Um, yeah, just I think see what he has to say. I don't know if I have a focus completely today.
Okay. Okay, let's do this because he already started. Well, let me just say before we even connect, what I heard as soon as you said that is that was him that reminded you to do this today because you had totally forgotten all about it. You didn't totally forgot that it was Tuesday. He's like, tell her that was me that reminded her and said, now you heard his
I
voice.
I did kind of go back and forth, and that's why you got it at the last minute. But I was just like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm gonna message her.
Because he said now. And it's important that I want you to think about that moment when you said, okay, I'm going to do it. That energy that you were feeling, that is what your son feels like now, here in the physical reality. When he's talking to you, you hear him in your mind as a thought that interrupts the rest of your thoughts, and you can't ignore them. You can't. They're loud and they're bossy, and it's almost like they have the remote controls in your brain that move your arms and limbs and make you do and what they want you to do to put you in the right place at the right moment at the right time. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
That feels like important that you understand that before we even start because he's already bragging about how good he's been able to communicate with you since the last time that we talked. And
I love that. That's so true.
you understand that?
I totally understand that. I question it in my head, which is probably why he's reiterating it, but I
Yeah.
do. I was just telling my husband, I feel like I told you that I felt like I had some conversations with my mother-in-law and I never felt that with my son. And I do now. But I question it. So yes.
So he's validating right now. He's like, yes, that was him. And that's why before I even start to connect with you, he's like, stop. You didn't give that enough credit. He's emphasizing that again. So you remember that, yes, that is his voice. Your heart will always hear his voice. Always.
Good.
It's just very
I need
subtle,
to.
easy to pass off as fluke, random, or chance, especially when we miss them so bad and we're used to conversing with them in a physical way. It's
Yeah.
funny. Sue's dad's on the other side. I'm pretty sure he's been so loud. I'm not surprised you're here, honey, because if you watched my live earlier, there was a father figure being very pushy in my world. If this is not your dad, this is a granddad. I just know that he's like tickling my face again. He's like, you feel that? I'm like, yes, it's not your turn yet. Okay. Aw, your son really likes hanging out with older gentlemen, doesn't he? He likes like the men's men. He likes being around men, like it feels like.
Always.
So
As
he's
always.
kind of like hanging out with her dad too. There's another father figure there. That mother figure you said is there as I'm trying to connect. He's bringing all these people forward. Even her dad, even Sue's dad is like hanging out. They're all hanging out together on the other side. Okay, let's do this. Both feet flat on the ground. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me and give me a minute to focus. Why are they taking me camping? Um, I'm not sure what this means, but all of a sudden I'm on a lake and I'm in a paddle boat or a canoe or there's something like that. They're taking me out to the water. I don't know why they're doing this. If you guys just went out to the water, see it changes. Once I've read for you before, they don't step forward and tell me how they died every time. They start
Mhm.
showing me other stuff, but they're often like puzzle pieces in the beginning. Because I'm not in your life to know what the heck they're talking about. I got a bunch of men out fishing or out on a lake, out in a boat. Slow this down, bud. Um, I gotta bring Sue in for a second. Sue, did your dad like to fish? Did he at all go out fishing and stuff?
Yeah, he did.
I'm telling you. See, I just
Yeah.
finished saying your son is hanging out with her dad. It's important that you understand, both of you. Spirit will bring you guys together at little weird things like this. You guys don't even know each other. And yet
No.
your loved ones are hanging out on the other side because your son likes to have that father figure who's out there doing things with him, and your dad likes to hang out with the young ones and teach. It feels like the energy around your dad is like, I like nothing more than to, take them fishing with me and teach them and do this kind of stuff. I love being a father figure. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
because, and then he's like, you tell my dad that. Tell my dad we can go fishing. He can learn. And I literally heard he can learn. Does your husband not fish very often or hasn't fished?
He hasn't fished in a long time. Yeah.
They want him to make space for that. Your son is like, come on, let's make space for that. Like, feels like he's trying to convince him to take some time off or to take 2 weeks off or something like that. Have you guys been talking about taking some time off?
Um, yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We really haven't even completely gone back to work since he passed. And so I can't really say that we're thinking about taking time off, but they did used to fish together and actually at his parents' house at a lake. And so they did love doing that together.
You know what? This is exactly why he's like, come on, let's go, let's go. He's even enlisted her dad. Like they got all these people. They're saying, let's go do this. I think that's I just understood it. Part of the healing process is learning how, oh, your son is going to make me cry. Part of the healing process is learning how to live our life with them in a different way. And that's exactly what he was talking about the second that he stepped forward with you before we even started connecting. Is that, Mom, you are hearing my voice. I know it doesn't sound the same as it did before, but you are hearing me. You're not making this up. It's real. And part of you being able to go back to work and live your life the way that you used to live it, to have these experiences, these family get togethers and stuff, is being able to get out there and do it and feel his presence in the moment, not his absence. Sometimes after somebody passes, we stop doing those family trips that we used to do with them because we can't bear to spend one holiday there without them. We can't bear that. So we stop doing those things. And then all we do is we feel their absence even more compound and heavy than we would before, because not only is their physical presence not here, their essence and their energy and the things we used to love to do with them as well is not here. So he's saying, Mom, if you just believe and trust in that feeling in your heart, and you're learning how he can show you he's there. He can send you signs. He can line you up at the right place at the right moment at the right time. He can show you that he is with you in different ways. Yes, different than he did before, but he can and he will. Just like he did today. You weren't supposed to be here today. You're both here at the exact same time. And he wanted that energy to kind of keep it light and fluffy too, if that makes sense, as much as
Yeah.
possible here. And loving. And because he sees everything that's going on in your world and with your family, and he sees that dad's struggling. And this was a hard summer for you guys. You didn't go out to that lake and you didn't do those things that you used to do with him. That's why he's saying for the next 2 weeks, you need to prioritize doing something like that so that you can continue to do the things you used to love to do with him. And in those moments, he will show up. I saw a butterfly, big, huge butterfly, and then he turned it into a dragonfly because he's like, got to be manly men. And he like attached it to the hat and stuff like that. You know, the dragonfly hat, so they don't get bitten by mosquitoes and stuff. If you don't know what that means, look it up because it's a hack. Dragonfly thing attaches to your hat, and then the mosquitoes come nowhere near you. Anyway, you'll get dragonflies around you though. Mark my words, because this boy is strong and he's utilizing not just his energy, but the grandfather's energy that's there as well. Because is your grandfather on the other side? Your dad's still here, correct? Your dad's there? That's on that side?
Um, I would think that it would be my father-in-law though, 'cause I wasn't close to my father.
Oh, we'll get to that, he just said. Your dad is very much there. When you said that, I felt tears and I felt regret and I just felt the Care Bear stare. Do you know what that is? The Care Bear stare? I know, this is how old I am. Care Bears, they have these little tummies, right? And so
Oh
when
yeah, no, I do know what that
you
is. Yeah.
stare all of that love and emotion at somebody, right? He's not going to step in and take away your time from your son. That's what's happened here. But your dad is very much loving from a distance on the other side. When you said it can't be him, he's like, it is me. Your son is hanging out with him on that side as well, that they have found peace and reconciliation. And you say, did your father in law smoke?
Know what my dad did.
Okay, see, because as soon as your father-in-law steps forward and it got really smoky in here, and I can smell the cigarette smoke getting thick in here. So if your dad's the only smoker on that side, he's hanging out with your in-laws, he's hanging out with your son. Slow this down. But see, they see what's going on in your world and they know that you have to find a way to get back on the horse again. You have to find a way to keep doing those things that you used to do. And when you do, you give him the opportunity to show up. When you say to him before you go to that lake, okay, bud, we're going to go, but you have to pull out all the stops to show us that you're with us. You have to make things happen so that I will feel your presence. I've learned how to watch the signs and the symbols. I've learned how to hear your voice so I won't pass it off, but show it to me. That's when you're going to find the dimes and the nickels. That's when you're going to see the license plate right in front of you that says his name. And you're going to be like, no way, how is that possible? That's when miracles are going to show up. And then you're going to feel his presence, not his absence. Do you understand that?
I do. Yeah. All of it.
Your dad, I got to go to him for a second now because your son is asking me. Because immediately he showed me this is not a man who doesn't love you. I got to tell you that. This is, I feel all different kinds. You know, I can feel the energies that come through. This is not a man that didn't love you. This is a man that didn't love himself, that didn't know how to admit when he was weak, didn't know how to admit when he'd made a mistake. Do you see what I mean? It's like one of these situations where, oh, what the heck? I already made all these mistakes while drinking, so why would I quit now? Because if I quit now, then I have to see all the mistakes that I made. As long as I'm drunk, I can't see it. Now, I don't know if he was a drinker. I'm just using that as an
He
example.
was.
So it's not an accident. He's using it as an example. If you understand that, right? It feels more like he was just so broken he didn't know how to heal that. And if he got sober, he had to face soberly everything he said and did in the past. And that was what he couldn't do because it broke his heart because he did love you. Now that he's on that side, though, I need you to know that he's instantaneously in love, light, and peace. And he is expressing a huge apology for not being able to be the father that you needed here in the physical world. But make no mistake that he is watching over you on that side. And if you give him the opportunity, and now this is where free will comes in, they will never invade your space, right? If you weren't close with somebody here in the physical world and you don't want them around you now, they will respect that. You say, no, you had your chance, back off. And whatever that is, they will, they have to obey that, your desire. But when you said that, your son even pulled him forward and said, Mom, what he said is that it doesn't do you any good to believe that he doesn't love you. You can believe that for the rest of your life, just as you always have, and it's never going to change that emotion. But if you say to him, just like you do with your son, oh, yeah, you real? You believe me? Or you are sorry and you love me? Prove it and let him line something up for you. Don't believe me. Don't believe him here. Give him if you give him the opportunity, what he's saying is that he will never let you down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So your son just pushed him away, and then your son's funny. He goes, "There you go, old man. Don't say I didn't give you anything. Back to me." He very much is comforting dad. Feels like dad has been going through a hard time recently. like very much having a hard time navigating this. And I think it's because he's not just navigating the loss of his son, he's navigating the loss of his family trips and, the get togethers and mom being here and dad being here and everybody passing so quickly. They want him to, no wonder they're taking him out on the canoe. You guys watch, go out there and fishing. Say, I want to find somebody to go with me. Your son's over there picking up, any old dead person that likes to fish on the other side. He's like, you can do the same thing here in the physical world. Mom, we'll send you a young man that wants to fish. Ask him, send me somebody to go fishing with dad. Because if you don't like to go fish, he doesn't want you there. But he wants somebody to go with him that wants to go with him, that'll have a great time. Your loved ones will line up people. Friends will just show up at your door and invite him fishing for no reason, and he'll be forced to go. You see what I mean?
Yeah, he
It's
does need
that
that.
he does. Your son's
Yeah.
like, it's enough, Dad. You can do this. I'm still here, but you can't hear me if you're always feeling pain about that I'm not here and you're looking for my absence. You've got to look for signs of my presence in the physical world. I know it's not the same as when I was here in a physical way, but it's better than being dead. It's just like if he moved to Germany, he can't wrap his arms around you and communicate with you and hug you in that way. He might not be able to go to the lake with you in that way, but you find a different way to communicate. And even before we had these kinds of, video conferences, they wrote letters and things like that.
That makes sense.
Okay, so this down. And then he said the counters are clean enough. And wait, what does that mean?
He said that last time too,
You
that
just
I
clean
could
a
stop.
lot? Did he?
I clean and cook when I'm feeling that's how I work through my stuff. So I haven't been cleaning as much as I've been cooking.
Then I know what that means. It means that the last time that you were sorting through your emotions and trying to work through this, he heard them. Because if you're cleaning when you're sorting through emotions, then he's saying it's clean, it's done. It's, you know what, it's clean enough. It's time to start focusing on what we're cooking now. I love how you say that your focus has been shifting to cooking because that's exactly what they want you to do. Less cleaning up, more cooking now, more creating a new way of interacting with him, not a new way of living without him. Ooh, I want to say that again. A new way of interacting and living with him, not a new way of living without him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need to do in here.
As he's pulling his energy back a bit, he said that he's glad that you're getting a little bit more sleep. It feels like you've slept in a little bit more than you were before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, the last 4 days I've slept more than I have in 6 months. So that's exactly true. You're creepy, Tracy, sometimes.
I'm sorry. It's not me. I'm just telling you what they tell me. I don't even know what it means half the time. It's that your loved ones are not gone. They're with you when you're sleeping. They're like Santa Claus. I'm with you when you're bad and you're good, when you're at school, when you're at home, when you're awake and when you're asleep. They're all around you all the time. Pure, non physical energy. They see everything going on.
That's amazing. You're amazing. You always make me feel better, even though I know I usually leave crying, but you always make me feel better.
Your son is so cute. He's like, there you go. How do you like that? I do all the work, you get all the credit. It's like, okay, I'll take it. Thank you. Aw, he loves you so much. Keep talking to him because he just said he's got a big surprise for you. And he's very excited. Did you just bake pie or something? Because he's like, I can't wait for dinner.
I literally just baked a loaf of bread. I took
Okay.
it out before I started. It's cooling right now.
That I saw you taking something out of the oven,
Yeah.
and it felt so yummy. And my favorite thing coming out of the oven is pie. That's why I'm guessing it's a pie or something. All I know is he's like, okay, I'm so excited for dinner because I just saw her pull it out of the oven.
I love that.
Okay, gonna let him pull his energy back. Have an amazing rest of your day, hun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Sue, we're coming over to you. Oh my gosh. See, as soon as I come to you, your dad's energy, man. Whew. Is it around the anniversary of the time that he passed? Or like your dad is on the other side, right? There you
Yeah,
go. And it's
the
around the
23rd he
anniversary.
passed.
Pardon?
He passed on the 23rd.
See, did you see my live earlier today?
A little bit of it.
You got to go back and watch it because I said this. This is what I love about spirit. Your dad knew you were going to be here before I knew you were going to be here and before you knew you were going to be here.
Yeah, because this is really was the last minute, very, very last minute.
Yeah, for you. That's what I was telling everybody. I sat down or I started my Sage of My Blessing, which I start about half an hour before I get ready to be here. And I saw the thing come in, that the receipt come in that you had bought 2 tickets. And I'm like, well, that's weird that you bought 2 tickets. Maybe she's bringing somebody with her.
I did, my dog.
Yeah, when you came, you showed up with your dog. We covered that. But
Yeah.
see what's going on with my nose right now? Anyway, when I did my live this morning, as soon as I sat down to do my lives, and we all know I don't give away free messages from Spirit on lives anymore. I get inundated by trolls, et cetera, right? Your dad did not care. Go back and watch that. I'm telling you, I said, I got a father figure here. It was right at the beginning. I was like, dude, you got to step back. He's so strong. He just told me that if he will not step back unless I say what he needs me to say.
Oh, okay.
And I said, what I do know about this guy is it's a father figure that we are coming up around the time of when he passed away. He's telling me it's around the anniversary of when he passed
Yeah.
away. And that the disfiguration that he had here in the physical world, he does not want you thinking or feeling about him in that way anymore, that he's not in that energy anymore. And so he doesn't want you to think about that every time he tries to come to you and communicate with you, because that's what he's making me feel in my face, the disfiguration or the tickles all over my face. And he's showing me how strong he is on that side and how much he's hearing everything you're saying. Even as I say that, my phone lights up. Spiritual emphasis. You have been doing some serious manifesting over the last couple of weeks. You had to have, because this is what happens when you start manifesting and you start telling them what you need. All of a sudden, they line you up. They put you in the right place at the right moment at the right time. And they do things like this by showing up in my live before you even got here. And I even told everyone, I have no idea who this is for. All I know is he's very specific and he's like embarrassing me. I had to get up out of my chair and go over and blow my nose off camera because I'm like, please, I'm begging with him, please stop. And so I said to him in my head, I will read for whoever this is, but you got to bring them to me. And then finally he went away. And here you are.
Isn't that funny? Okay.
And it is your
So,
father,
so,
and
yeah.
it is around the time that he
Yeah.
passed away. Now, how can I know that when I don't even know that you're coming here?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
This is
Funny.
so cool.
Yeah.
How
You
did he
are.
die?
You. Yeah.
How did he pass, hun?
How did he pass? He just was, I think he choked. I think that he was in a nursing home and I think he, got water and I think something was going on and the paramedics laid him back on a stretcher that called the hospital. And I think when he went back like that, I think he had vomited or something had happened. I think that's how he did it. I don't, um,
It's interesting. I have to ask that question because that's about what I feel from him. Just taking one last breath and I'm on the other side. But he
yeah,
keeps emphasizing he doesn't want you to remember him that way. He doesn't want you to remember him that way. So it's not so much the act of dying he doesn't want you to remember. It's that those last couple of years where he wasn't able to be the strong, protective
no, yeah,
father that he normally was.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay. Do you have a focus today? Is
yeah.
there? Okay, good, because Dad brought you here for a reason.
What does he have to say? What
He
does he
said he
say?
brought you here because whatever your focus is, that's what he wants to talk about. But
My business.
got
My
you.
business and I'm in the process of I've been off for a month now and I'm in the process of going back to a job that I no longer want to go back to and I'm just sick about going back. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do start my own business. And I want to start my own business I've just kind of got so I need help lining everything up with that. But I want to have it so I don't have to go back next week and just get on with my business. Like have September, brand new start and just not even bother and just be done with that part of my life in the past, because it's over, it's done with it. It's finished, you
Yep.
know, and just going back is just like
And so
it's
what's stopping you from not going back?
I just don't have anything going forward right now. Like it's just I've been, you know, like trying to manage, like I'm saying, okay, like I need, you know, thank you for the funds and everything else that I need, but I need something to move forward to too, because I can't, like I need to be busy. I need to have something to look forward to, right?
Hmm.
And I want to have, you know,
Okay,
like
so
what is it?
it's not life and death if you don't go back to that job in next week or whatnot, even though you don't know what's coming up yet, it's not life or death, right?
No,
This is what's so magical and important about your loved ones. And when I tell you that they know what you need, I don't know what you need, this is what I'm telling you, is
yeah,
that the beautiful thing about the way they communicate is they have to line your circumstances and situations up in a way that will deliver the message they want you to get. And so, what message did your dad deliver by the way that he lined you up here today? The message he delivered is that he can see what you need even before you see what you need.
yeah,
You didn't know that you were going to be here, but he brought you here to give you clarity so that you can have, that's what you asked for. I'm asking for clarity. So he's like, okay, I'm going to bring her to you or bring her to me. But you don't see that until the very last minute. This is a
okay,
leap of faith. That is what a leap of
yes,
faith feels like. A leap of faith feels like exactly where you were, where you are. A leap of faith is where, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. When I take this jump, when I leap based on my faith and my trust in my loved ones and my guides and God and where I want to go, I'm going to believe that and trust that and take that leap of faith, even if I can't see that net underneath of me, that you're never going to see the net before you jump. This is exactly what I was just talking about. You don't get to know. I say it's exactly what I was just talking about. I don't know if it was to you or to my members or who. I've been doing readings all day, so forgive me if it wasn't said on this live. I forget.
yeah, okay,
But the message is that they don't say to you, okay, now that you're standing on this cliff, because that's kind of what it feels like, standing on a cliff,
mm-hmm.
right? Now
I
that you're
am,
standing on this cliff, you're going to jump, and then halfway in the air, you're going to see the path forward. It's all going to line up for you. This is where you go, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't work that way. You stand on the cliff, and it's like, jump. And it's like, well, are you freaking kidding me? There's like a big,
yeah,
cavern down there. Jump. Well, I don't know if I can't make it from where I am to the other side of the cavern. And they're standing beside you and going, jump. Faith. Take the leap of faith. What happens is you're not supposed to see where the net is. You're supposed to jump in full faith that your dad and your angels and your guides and God has you. And the minute that you take that leap of faith is when the net appears, not the
okay,
other way around. They don't spell out the whole path for you and say, okay, now that you can see the path, take that, take that path. You have to jump before you see the path. So you are exactly describing a leap of faith right now.
yeah,
And that's why your dad lined this all up. It's so beautiful. I love this. Probably one of my favorite spirit message and spirit synchronicities and alignments that I've ever experienced, especially when you go back and you watch my live from earlier today, how pushy he was and jumping at me and making a point of making sure that I said the details that are very specific to him, right? So that you would, when you show up here, you know it was him. It was his way of saying, you know what? You didn't know that you were going to be here earlier today, but he got you here. You don't
yeah,
have to know where this is going to take you, what the next step is after. Oh, that's exactly. You don't have to know 2 steps ahead. You just have to know the next step. And you already know the next step. The next step is that you don't go back to that job that you don't want to go to. That's the next step. That's the leap of faith. And when
yeah,
you do that, Dad, stop playing with my nose. This is exactly what he was doing to me on my live earlier. Like, goodness sake. Do you ever get that just sitting there and your face gets all
yeah,
itchy? That is him. Let me tell you, he's learned to get your attention with that. Funny guy. Okay, so anyway, so this is what he's trying to say to you is that trust that they know what you need. So, where was I going with that, Dad? Slow down. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't go back to that old job. Get up every day, and this is what you need to be saying to yourself. Thank you for giving me the strength and the courage to say no to what is not for me anymore. Thank you for this step. This is the step that you have to be right now. You have to be in this step of complete and utter faith. I might not know what's coming up for me, but I know that I can trust you, Dad. I know that I can trust my angels and God. I know that they are carrying me to where I need to go. And so what do I need today to get me to that next stage? Well, you know what you need today? You need to just bake in the faith. You need to see evidence that you're going to be okay. This is why I was asking, it's not life and death. You see what I'm saying? What we're talking about here. See, now if you didn't have food to feed yourself, then you're going to have to say different things to yourself, and maybe you're going to have to go to that job that you don't want to go to just to make sure you have what you need. But if you have what you need, it's about reminding yourself, I have everything that I need, and I'm not going to take a job that's not right for me, because it's like getting on the wrong bus. It does me no good. It's going to take me somewhere else that I don't want to be. And when my bus comes by that bus stop, I won't be there. So thank you for giving me the courage and the faith to believe that you will guide me towards what I've asked for. Thank you for supplying all of my needs in the meantime. Thank you for giving me the clarity to get me there. Blah, 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 blah. You see where I'm going with this? This leap of faith moment is your moment. You're not going to know the path until after you take that leap of faith.
Yeah. I mean, also too, financially, I've got savings I can live off too, right? So it's not.
But don't use those words. I don't use those words, because the way that you speak the words is the way that they will manifest. So
Okay.
you're gonna, if you say I can live off of those, you're gonna see them deplete. If you say to yourself, if you say, you know what, if I need anything, I've got it covered. It's all
Yeah.
good. I have the time to wait because I got everything covered, and it's going to come to me at the perfect time. And how lucky am I that I have a nest egg that is going to carry me through from where I am now to where I need to be? Not
Yeah.
everybody has that. I am so lucky and I'm so blessed. And the more lucky and blessed you are, the quicker you get there.
Yeah.
The way
Okay.
that you speak the words is just as important. So watch what happens. And it feels very soon. And here's the magic of this is usually as soon as you get the lesson of this, which is take that leap of faith,
Yeah.
it manifests and comes right into your world.
I just know that everything there, and I'm so grateful I had that job because it taught me everything, and it is really where I am, but what I needed to do and where I know what I want to do in the world. But I'm done there, and I've learned,
Yep.
like I'm done learning there. And if I go back, like it's making, like I am physically sick this week of thoughts of going back,
Well,
and
then
that's
stop
just
thinking about it and stop going back. Stop thinking about going back, and you will stop feeling that anxiety. Once you
yeah,
stop thinking and feeling that anxiety, now you have room to think and feel about the things that will take, you can only go in one direction at the same time, is what I'm trying to
yeah.
say. And so if you're, and the way that you move yourself forward is with your thoughts and your emotions. So if all of
Mhm.
your thoughts and your emotions, that's what today's live was about, you really got to go back and watch that too.
It's
Um,
funny because I never really watch your lives, and today I was drawn to it, and and you were doing it was live, and I was busy, and I thought, oh, I'll go back later to it and listen to it.
Oh, your dad's like, oh, darn rights you will. He like tapped you,
Yeah.
double, triple tapped you on that. And because it contains exactly what you need to hear today. And it's a lot about faith over fear in a sense. It's more about shifting dimensions, which is what you are going doing right now, shifting timelines. It's about going from one timeline to the better timeline that you would like to live. And
Yeah.
our realities are made up. They are, materialization, a manifestation of our previous thoughts and emotions. So if you get up every single day and you're thinking about going to a job that you hate and that's producing the emotions that you hate, then that energy in motion, emotion, is going out into the world, and that is what you are going to experience tomorrow. Our todays are a past version of yesterday's thoughts and emotions manifested today. It's like when the waitress comes and brings you your order at a restaurant, the order she is bringing you is your past order. See what
Yeah.
I mean? You order it
Yeah.
in the past, and then they make it in the kitchen and bring it to you when it's ready. But what you are eating right now, you don't say it and then you're eating it. You think it, you speak it, your waitress writes it down, she goes back, it gets created, and then it gets served to you. So if that's the process of creation. So if you're waking up every single day for the last week thinking about going back to a job that you hate, speaking about going to that job, feeling anxiety about that job, you're going to go back to that job. You're going to recreate everything that you don't like.
Yeah.
You can't get to the outcome that you want to get in that energy and motion. You are creating what you don't want. What you do want isn't just going to magically show up on your doorstep. You have to create it through the same process of creation, which means that you get up every single day and you think about what you do want, and you speak about what you do want, and you feel how excited you are for what you do want, and you sit in that emotion for a little bit. You've spent a week in anxiety. How about a week in excitement about it? You know how they say, I'll believe it when I see it? No, you believe it to see it. No, let me say that. Did I say, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not see it to believe it. It's believe it and then you will see it. You have to be able to. So here, let me just say it this way. If I was in your position, I would do this. And I think this is what your dad wants you to do. He wants you to get up every single day. And he wants to say, you know what, Sue, thank you so much for not going back to that job. I am so proud of you for not going back to that job. It feels like such a freedom in my world. I'm free. I am so lucky to be able to do the job that I want to do. Dad, stay off my nose. I'm telling you, the whole time I'm trying to talk to him, his energy is so strong. It's not even funny. And you got to say, this is the job that I'm going to be doing. It feels great. I feel free. It's so prosperous. I can see the money coming in. I can feel the stability and the joy to get up every single day and do this job. Not just do my dream job, but my dad helped synchronize and align it. How cool is that I still get to experience doing stuff with my dad, even though he's on the other side. I can feel his energy and his synchronicity through this entire thing. I am so excited to see where this goes. I don't even know where this is going yet. I just know that I am not going back to that job, which means I am free to go to this job. Thank you for giving me the tools and supports that I need to get to that job. Thank you for giving me the clarity that will help show me what my next step is. See, this is exactly the message right now that I want you to hear out of everything, is that sometimes life doesn't show you the whole path. It only shows you the next step. And if you refuse to take that next step, then you won't see the one after that. And you're standing here going, well, I'm not taking the first step unless I can see the next 4 steps. And the universe is saying, well, if you don't take that first step, you're just going to drown. The water's rising and rising and rising and rising. Like, you have to take that step. The minute that you take that step, guess what happens? The next step reveals itself. The step that you are refusing to take right now is the decision that no matter it's funny that we're using that scenario, and the saying that just came in my head is, come hell or high water, I'm not going back to that job. No matter what happens, I am free from that job. If you get up every single day telling yourself how free you are from that job, that you're never going back to it, that you have all the tools and resources you need to carry you through until the next one. If you get up every single day thinking those thoughts, as long as you did getting up feeling the anxiety of going back to that job, the scenario is going to completely rewrite itself, and you are going to receive everything that you need to go in the next direction. Life will always show you the next step. You can't see 3 steps ahead. The next step is to tell yourself you're not going back to that, period. Now, what I want to do with your cards is to say, okay, what happens when she doesn't go back to that job? Maybe it'll be a week, maybe it'll be a month before you have full clarity on the next step. I doubt it's going to be that long. It usually comes pretty quickly that you know what the next step is. Maybe the next step is to get up every single day and not job hunt, but create, spend a little time creating. Maybe you're supposed to do some extra time writing, whatever it is. You know what I mean? When she tells herself that she's never going back to that job, no, when she commits to never going back to that job, what happens? As we're talking about this job, look at the card that just talking about the job makes this card pop out, which is stress, anxiety.
Oh,
It's exactly
yeah,
where you
fear.
are right now. It's
Yeah.
somebody who is in a very good position. She's in nice clothes, comfortable bedding, roses on her bed, but she's stressing about something that hasn't happened yet. You can't be stressed and feel faith at the same time.
No.
So if you are stressing, then you're not telling yourself how lucky you are, how excited you are to see what's next. You know what I mean? Because your emotions are a chemical reaction to your thought. So if you're not really paying attention to what you're thinking in your head, your emotions are going to let you know because you will wake
Yeah.
up feeling anxious. So once you get control of your thoughts and the process of creation, and my earlier live explains it much better than I did here, I want to see how this lines up for you. Show me what's coming up for her. Wow. Okay. So you can't make this up. Just saying. What's coming out? Justice. A feeling that life is fair. A feeling of
Oh,
things going in your way. This is fairness. Everything that you deserve, that you felt like that has been withheld from you for so long, and the funding coming in to make it happen.
okay. Oh, okay.
That is so cool. You just gotta know that um, I think that's exactly why your dad is like, he showed up in my live earlier today to show you that he can see things that you can't from that vantage point. And when you ask him and you say, okay, Dad, are you helping me? Are you guiding me?
Yeah.
Trust me, no doubt your dad is guiding you.
Yeah, because
Trust
I've been asking him.
my poor little Rudolph nose will tell you he is very strongly guiding you. You
Good.
are moving forward in huge waves compared
Yeah,
to where you were.
yeah, I do.
Huge.
And I just feel that if I go back, I'm giving up on myself, and
Yeah.
I'm admitting this is all I deserve, or I'm letting other people drive, and it's, like, you're the creator of your life, but are you really, if you're going to let everybody, if you're, and
Something I
and
learned a long
sometimes you
time
have,
ago.
yeah, and sometimes you just have to say, you know what? Yeah, and exactly. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I know that in order for tomorrow to happen, I have to, I've got to, like, not so much give up on today, but for good things to come in, sometimes you have to say goodbye. I mean, I left my marriage and I'm okay, which
Yes.
probably to a lot of people was the dumbest thing ever. But I'm still standing, you
And
know.
better for it. It's so, your
Yeah.
mom's on the other side as well?
No,
Because there's a
no.
lady
You
over
always
there.
say that. You've been saying that. So
She's
I think
dementia.
she's getting ready. I think she's getting ready to go. I really do.
It's funny because see what happens, and this is again, I'm just telling you what I'm picking up,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so when somebody is in a state of dementia and Alzheimer's, I can communicate with them sometimes. Even though their
Yeah.
body is still here in the physical world, their mind is in both places, so I can pick up energy from them. And she's fainter than your dad, definitely, but I can
Yeah.
still feel that consciousness around you.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what she's going to say there. Oh, it was about your marriage. She's cheering about your marriage. She's like, yes, yes. Like it
Yeah.
gives her peace to know that you were free from that because that was hard for her to watch you in that situation because she knew you weren't happy, even if she couldn't
Yeah.
communicate that. It's funny because there can be on both sides and they can see things, right? So it's hard to see our loved ones stuck and not, and especially if your mom's in that scenario where she can't always even communicate properly. You know what I mean?
She's good. Like, she's still at home and everything, and she's still good in that. But I do kind of wonder. I think her mind. Well, she's 92.
I'm telling
You
you, I
know.
can consciously communicate every once in
Yeah.
a while. Now that you say that, like, no, she's not here, but you've said that before. It's like instantly, I know that's true. I can feel that.
Yeah.
Um,
I also feel that she's waiting for me to get set up. I
that would
do.
make, see what message did I just receive and energy did I just receive around that? Was that it
Hmm.
was hard for her to know that you were in a place that wasn't good, before she exits the physical world. That's literally the message. So your dad coming down, and no wonder he's being so heavy and strong with me, trying to help you get ready to be ready, because mom is getting ready to be ready as well to cross over, and she can't cross over until you're good. But see, another really cool thing is that in my live earlier, I was talking about how we are shifting timelines, like that before the big C, before COVID, there's the world is kind of like a big arrow bar, if you will. This is the
Yeah.
example that spirit gives me. And it's got all those bubbles in it, right? And each one of those bubbles is a version of reality that is you. So, and I used me for example. There's a version of reality of me that is still stuck and, haunted and no understanding of what's going on and never took this route to do what I did to be here. There's a version of that reality of me. There's this version of me. There's all different versions of realities of us. Every time you make a different choice or decision, you slip into a new bubble of reality, if you will, in your little chocolate bar. You following me?
Yeah.
And so what I can feel happening for many people, which is what I was talking about in my live, is that these timelines seem to be, converging into a much smaller arrow bar, if you will. So there's only like 2 or 3 bubbles left. It's like it's pushing you out of old timelines and old, situations that are not of your highest good, and forcing you to believe in yourself, forcing you to take that leap of faith, forcing you into a higher timeline. So many people are going through this, but they misunderstand. They think I just lost my job, or my friend stopped talking to me, or moved away all of a sudden. They don't understand that that is the universe repositioning them into this higher timeline. Do you see what I mean? So
Yes.
the fact
I
that you are
just,
waking up and having this feeling that I can't go back, I need to go forward, that matches everything that I said in my live today that your dad haunted me in.
yeah, I deal with mental health issues. And that's so, today we just need more people. So it's almost like I have to get, and where I'm at, you think they would help, but they don't. But anyhow, I need to get to a point in my life where I'm with people that actually care and we can do something together. And however, whatever that looks like, however that is, but I've got to get there and I've got to find my peeps because I don't have them around me right now. I've got some around me, but I need people that can help move, make this a better place. And I know and that's not coming from ego, but it's just, we've got to stick together and do something about this because this is not working. And we've got way too much money. Funding's going to not frontline, and we need to get frontline people, you know.
So, some beautiful things about what you just said right there, actually, is that you said, you work in mental health field.
Yeah.
So, and what is God and your dad teaching you in order for you to be able to work in the mental health field? First thing you have to master is your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the best way that we help people get out of dark situations is not with counseling and therapy and all of that kind of stuff. It has its place, time and its place.
Yeah.
And it should be very minimal, because the way that we get people through those situations is by focusing on where they're going, focusing on what they learned, focusing on extracting the lessons from the experiences they've had and using that moving forward. And then you said something that kicked you backwards. And you said, because they got all this funding going the wrong way, and it's a
Yeah.
shame, and there's not enough people in the right way. And you know what I mean? So you're going to rephrase that and say, and today is the day in the world that things are turning, the tide is turning, and now we're going to get the funding going with the right people and
Yeah.
with the right situations. And I'm so grateful every day that I'm waking up and being trained by God to be a master of mental health. And the fact that I have to take a leap of faith in my own life means that when I have to go out and testify to other people, to take that leap of faith. If you leave that alcohol alone, you will be able to make it. Take that leap of faith in whatever way it is, not you, but specific examples, right? If you're going to preach that to somebody, you got to have a story about how you learned your leap of faith.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear
Yeah,
more?
exactly. Exactly. One more, you're amazing as always. What's going on with my dog Jax? like, is he okay or what's going on with him? Because he's like been really unsettled. I even did sage and things like that around here, and he's just been really, and I think he's picking up on me. I get that because we are really close, but um
It's so funny. I laugh because your dad really is a master today. He's the winner. He bought 2 tickets. And you need a message for your dad.
for
Jeez.
me and my dog, right? Yeah. Yeah. That would be my dad. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. It doesn't count, Dad. She still gets a free ticket.
Hmm.
Anyway, not a free ticket, but you still get to use the net at again at another point if you'd
Hmm.
like.
I
So,
was gonna say, I think that's my dad's way of saying, don't worry, the money's there. You can afford to buy 2 tickets at once. Don't
yes,
worry about it.
you're speaking his language now.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
understanding, right? They line
Yeah.
things up in abundance because you are abundant. You absolutely.
Yeah.
But okay, so dogs, they use more than just their 5 physical senses. And the 5 physical senses that they have are elevated and heightened to the point that they are supernatural. So dogs can smell things you can't, see things you can't, sense things you can't, hear things you can't. You see what I mean? And so, if you are getting up every single day and you are thinking and feeling about things that are not making you feel good, right? This funny, again, we talked about this, I'm pretty sure, in my live earlier today, is that the more that you are thinking and feeling about those things, the more anxiety you are feeling,
Yeah.
it produces an energy like an exhaust. Like when you burn your car, like when you turn your car on, there's an exhaust. When you are feeling negative and fear and anxiety, you produce an exhaust. Like I compared it to nicotine smoke. You can't see it, but the lower vibrational entities that are all around you, just like we have higher vibrational entities, our loved ones, our angels, etc., there are lower vibrational energies and entities in this world as well. You can
Yeah.
use the word demonics, whatever you want to use. There's all various forms of them, right? Now, their food is that anxiety that you've been producing for the last week. So if you get up every single day and you are thinking and feeling and baking in lower vibrational energies, then you are pulling towards you all of those spiritual bugs, so to speak, and they are feeding on you. And your animals will be able to sense them around you. And so what they will do is they will try to get you to influence your thoughts to make you see a situation as happening to you, not for you. So your dog is showing you that they're there. So I'll give you an example. Um, so if you clean your house top to bottom, right? You don't see any bugs anywhere in your kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you take a bunch of food and you leave it out on the counter overnight, just unwrapped on a plate, leave it there on the counter. When you wake up, there's probably going to be ants on it or there's going to be bugs on it, right?
Yeah.
Possibly, especially if you leave it there for long enough. The longer you
Yeah.
leave it, the stronger the odor gets. You understand? And
Yeah.
so what happens is those bugs that you couldn't see the night before your house was spotless, when you get up, it sucks right to that food. So, if you are getting up every day thinking and feeling with anxiety and negativity and fearful thoughts, then they are going to be all around you. And then what they're going to do is something will happen and they'll be in your head going, "Oh, your friend did that to you, you know. You have to go back to that work. You have to go back to that job. If you don't go back to that job, you're going to sink. You're going to drown. It's never going to work out the other way. You can't see which way it's going to go, so you can't not go back to work. How stupid would that be?" Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's
They are
exactly what it is. Yeah.
milking that energy because it is producing food for them. Your dog getting all riled up is letting you know that it can see and sense the bugs that you are calling into your house with that energy. It's very easy cleanse. So what I want you to do tonight is when we're done here, I want you to just go through your house and sage it again and just wipe down some of the walls and stuff, the door frames and the windows, just really lightly with some salt water or just some water with a little bit of salt in it. And then salt around the outside of your house after you're done. What that does is it prevents anything negative from coming back in the house. But as you're saging before you salt, make sure you sage before you salt because saging pushes it all outside. And so make sure your windows are open as you're saging, push it outside, then close the windows, salt around the outside, and nothing can get back in. And then as you're saging, make sure that you are visualizing that sage smoke going everywhere and filling your house with love and with prosperity and with whatever it is that whatever energies you want in in that smoke. Um, and yeah, just let that go the way it is. But if you get up every single day, what you're going to find now, if you get up every day and you focus, the first thing you do when you get up is you say 2 to 5 minutes of thank you fors. You get up and you say, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the clarity that you're giving me today. Thank you for me taking a step towards my new job. Thank you that I'm not going back to that way today. Thank you for 2 to 5 minutes of thank you fors. Those spiritual bugs that we're feeding on you, they can't get to you because there's no food out on the counters. You see what I mean? There's no food
Yeah,
for them. So
yeah,
they're not going to
definitely.
even try to get back in. And B,
Yeah,
you're going to be producing so much positivity around you that it's like nails on a chalkboard to them. Trust your
okay.
animals and your children when they start telling you that there's monsters in their room or that your dogs start acting like there's something not good. Because if it's your loved ones around, they don't get that negativity, right? They'll follow
Yeah,
them around, they'll get the zoomies, they'll like playfully do stuff, but it's not in a protective way. As you said that, I could feel the protectiveness of your dog.
yeah,
You understand that?
yeah, yeah, very much so.
Just the way that spirit and the universe lets us know when we need to clean things up a little bit.
To get moving. It's because I do feel that the next move is coming on. Plus, I'm an Aries, and I got your 6-week Aries, the reading,
I'm an
and
Aries too.
that was pretty amazing. So
Yeah, and it's been pretty spot on so far. We're not going to see what's coming right now. You can't see. Bleh, poke myself in the mouth. You
the
can't
moon,
see what's coming. All you
yeah,
know is that you are taking a leap of faith. And I want to leave this with my little quick little story of a leap of faith so that you understand that there is nothing too big for God, that He can do anything. When we meet Him halfway with a leap of faith, He will always, always have our back. A lesson I learned the hard way a very, very hard way, long time ago when I was 24, I think I had 25, no, sorry, I was 25. I had a 9-year-old son. So I was a young mama when I started. Single mom, 25-year-old. I had just gone back to school and started dating somebody. Didn't last very long. We broke up, and then I found out I was pregnant halfway through school. And it was one of those courses where if you complete the whole course, then it's a grant and you don't have to pay it back. But if you don't complete it with good grades, then you have to pay the whole thing back. And it was like
yeah,
20 something thousand, right? So anyway, I was determined to finish this course before I was done my pregnancy, but I started having such bad morning sickness and such bad, like I got so violently sick because I was trying to do too much. I was up at 5 in the morning. I was taking 3-hour bus rides there in the morning, 3 hour in the back to get my son to the daycare and blah, blah, blah. It was too much, right?
yeah,
So, when I was about 5 months pregnant, the doctor told me that if I did not quit school and stay home on bed rest, that my baby was probably going to die. And
oh
I had a
geez,
choice. Either I was going to make a choice based on love for myself and my baby, or I was going to make a choice based on fear of what would happen or won't happen if I do or don't. You know what I mean? No matter what choice we're making, it's either a leap of faith for love for yourself or it is fear. You see what I mean?
yeah,
Like you going back to that other job would be fear, right? So that was the first time I said, well, you know what? I'm already in love with this baby. I'm 5 months along. It wasn't expected, but I love him. And the choice out of love for him and my family would be to quit school, even though I have no idea how I'm going to feed myself or my child. It was 2 weeks before, it was around this time of year too, because it was 2 weeks before school went back. And all I had in my cupboard was a can of beans. That was it. And so I quit school and I was like, all right, I'm going to stay home. And that first week, I ended up managing to get some food bank or something like that. It was a very hard week, but I did it. And then the beautiful part of the story is that this back in 2002, before direct deposit. And the thing is that I couldn't even go to welfare. Welfare won't even accept you if you quit school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won't even accept you. And nobody's going to hire me because I was put on bed rest. So what I was supposed to do? Anyway,
Yeah.
so a week goes by and I get up one morning and I make my way to the mailbox. And in the mailbox was a check from the government of Canada for $1,500.
Oh,
For
geez.
what? I have no idea. To this day, I've never received an explanation, and nobody has ever come back asking for that money. But back in 2002, that was a lot of money. I was in
Yeah.
Calgary housing at the time. My rent was like less than $200. It was enough to get me through for the rest of my pregnancy. It was enough to get my son school clothes and back to school. And I'm telling you, when I saw that check, I hit my knees and I cried so hard. And that is a leap of faith. You take the leap of faith. And I didn't take that leap of faith knowing that there was going to be a net there for me. But when
Yeah.
I took that leap of faith, the net appeared and my baby lived.
Yeah.
Take your leap of faith and let today show you that your dad's already lining it up before you're even there. He knows what you need before you're even there. You've been telling him.
Yeah.
So you might not be able to see it yet because you're not meant to. The act of taking the leap of faith is more important than them telling you what is on the other end of that. You
Yeah.
need the lesson of this so that you will always remember that because you're going into the mental health field.
Yeah.
And so the last thing I want you to know about this is that the people appear along the way. It's something that God taught me very early on that I'm only learning to deeper levels now. The more that I'm studying Jesus now, actually, is I'm starting to understand this concept more, is that when something is being built through you from the divine, when, like you said, the funding needs to go to better people, needs to go
Yeah.
to a more positive outcome,
Yeah.
that
It does.
being
Yeah.
taken out of the hands of the devil and being brought back into the divine. And so if you are creating through the divine, hold on a second, your dad is so strong. Get out of my head, buddy. When you are creating through the divine, where were we going with this? Hold on, just completely took that thought out of my head. Gotcha. Okay, for a second there, it took me a second. The people, they're coming. Got it. Back on my train of thought. Sorry, this is what it's like in my head, a jumbled mess sometimes. Anyway, so when you are building through the divine, the people come. No, you don't go out and you hire the people and then we build the company. We start walking just like Jesus did. He started on his walk one miracle at a time, and the people joined him one
Yeah.
at a time. The people who make my career, who make it possible for me to do this every single day, they have helped me. I help them and then they join my team and they come with me along the years. Even little Miss Christina down here helps me showing up all the time. You know what I mean? And they become part of it. They could become part of your story as you go. You don't
Yeah.
have to see all the players to know that they will show up at the moment that you need them. They are part of, you give your loving energy to them and then they become part of the story that moves forward. That's how you get the people when you're building through the divine.
Yeah.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So don't sweat the people. You just make sure you say, okay, in order to get to this step, I need this person. And they'll send you somebody that matches that description. And then you say, okay, now for this next step, we need somebody with these skills. And boom, you'll receive somebody with those skills. But it's each step at a time.
Yeah.
And the people that are going to help you in it or with it are the people that are invested in it. That's the way they
Yeah.
work through
Okay.
the divine. I know.
Good.
The other way, the way of the world, the way that the other guy controls, he will tell you the whole world to make you feel safe, to trap you. He'll
Yeah.
say, come to this job, you'll have benefits forever. You'll be
Yeah.
safe, you'll be this, you'll be that. You've got all the people you need. And then you get on that job and all of a sudden it looks a lot different and you're tricked, you're trapped. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the devil. God doesn't work like that. He always makes you take a leap of faith every single time, but it's
Yeah.
worth it. I promise you.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Perfect. You're wonderful as always.
You're welcome, hon. I look forward
I
to
just said I said when you're as wonderful as always, my dog looked up to say, yes, I know. Yeah. Yes, I am. Thank you. Thanks.
Not wrong. You watch how better he's going to feel too. He's going to be less anxious as you are doing your vibrational creation. But
Yeah.
definitely go back and listen to that live that I did earlier because I said it a lot better than I think I did here. But it's exactly what you're, I know now why he was interrupting my live. And it just, I think it's so cool because I didn't know you were going to come here then. I didn't know
I
it's
didn't
the
know either.
anniversary of round when he passed. He knew. He made me say that on that live.
Jeez, yeah.
And the whole time I'm talking to you now, he's doing this, which is what he was doing to me on that live. It's so cool. I wouldn't worry. He's moving you along the way.
Okay. Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate that. Makes me
You're,
feel so much better.
you
Thank
are
you.
so welcome. And don't forget that justice, that's what's coming in. Everything is
Mm,
about to be a lot more fair.
good. Thank you.
You're
Good.
welcome.
Good.
Ah, okay.
Thanks, Tracy. Have a good night.
You too. What was your dad's name, by the way?
Art.
All right, Art, that's enough. We're done with my face now, right? Okay.
Good.
He's
Thank you.
so funny. As soon as I said that, he's like, okay, fine. Where's those boys? We're going fishing.
That would be Dad.
Oh, I love him. Okay. Have an
Okay.
amazing day, hun.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Tracy. Take
You're
care.
welcome.
Bye.
All right, Christina. How you doing, my friend? Do you have a focus today?
I don't know. Um, I don't know. I think I guess work.
You guesswork because we did your cards earlier and that's what came out?
Well, I think I need to take a leap of faith and just like I guess I'm afraid to tell work that like I need to drop a day because that's what's best for me right now.
See, isn't that funny? Because we did your cards, I think, before I
It
started
just clicked
recording.
in my head.
Yeah. This is why these readings line up at the exact right moment, at the exact right time. It's not an accident in the order that I read people in. And it's what's even cooler about this really synchronized messages from Spirit tonight is that I pulled your cards before we even started recording, and your cards came very synchronized. The Knight of or the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and then the King of Wands, which I said this has something to do with work. It's about taking an action. And the Knight of Wands is in and out, right? I was like, well, what does this mean? And then the King of Wands being very successful. That's exactly what it means. In order for you to be as successful as you want to be, you have to recognize when you have to pull back a little bit. That's what the Knight of Wands does. He's very passionate, but he also has to take time back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that this was so synchronized in that reading before, or when we pulled those cards, is a reassuring energy that they've got your back, that it's okay, that when you let them know that you need to take a bit of a step back, that they're going to be okay with it. You're not going to be in trouble. And it's going to actually benefit you way more than forcing yourself to white knuckle your way through it ever could. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, Timmy's like, okay, that's enough of that. You got your work stuff out of the way. Go to me. Because he's curled up on your lap and just doing lots and lots of cuddling. What does that mean? Have you been like hanging out on the couch recently?
Yeah.
You've been just sitting on the couch a lot recently?
Yep.
Because that's how I see him, like snuggled up with you and just cuddled under your arm. And he's like turning the TV off and he's like, you tell my mom to take a shower and go outside. And he doesn't say that because you're smelly, let me tell you. I think when I said that, he just gave me the eye. Have you had a shower today, hun?
No, not yet.
Now, he's not saying that because he's calling you smelly. He's saying that, I think, because sometimes if we're in a bit of a depressive energy, the quickest way to make yourself feel better is to just take a shower. Even if you've already had one today, get up and have another shower, clean yourself, go outside, get some vitamin D on your skin, and force yourself to continue to be in action. Force yourself to keep your body moving, because if you allow yourself to stay what's the word I'm trying to use? Still, if you're not moving around enough, then those energies can, remember what I was saying to Sue, how those negative energies can come in and they will start milking that. And the longer you stay on that couch, the harder it is to get off. And the longer it will take you to feel better. But the answer to that is to get off the couch, to have a shower, to force yourself to go outside, to get some vitamin D, and to do something fun for yourself.
Yeah, I put in the request for those 2 days for October.
Got ya?
We can't do the amusement park on the 9th like I wanted to do because they're not open. But I told Sharif we'll find something to do. So a movie or something.
Tell Timmy to show you what he wants to do. Now, this is what I mean when I say, you guys, they're not gone and they can talk to you. So I want you to say, Timmy, show Mama what you want to do on your day. This is your heavenly birthday. What are we going to do today? Light it up for me. Bring it in my path. Are we going to go see a movie? Is there a special movie coming out around that time? Maybe you don't know that movie's coming out yet. Maybe he's going to surprise you a week or two before. Maybe there is another activity that's coming to town. Maybe the circus is coming to town. I don't know. I'm just guessing. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if you give it to him and you say, all right, Timmy, Mom needs something to do. Mom and Sharif need something to do on that day so that we can do with you. And I need to know that you're there. So line it up for me. Show me what it is. Make it big so that when I see the ad for it or when I hear about it, it will hit me so big I will know it's you because you know the sound of his voice now, right?
Yeah.
And so when I feel that it's you, then I know that it's not just me and Boo going to this activity. I know that you chose it, and you will know that he's there with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I know that like see the 9th isn't his heavenly birthday per se. I mean, I guess he was kind of half there. Not fully there. He was like half there.
Those whole
Um
3 days are what I mean when I say his heavenly birthday, sweetheart. Those whole 3 days are all in the same kerfuffle, aren't they?
yeah.
That was the last time that you saw your son normal.
Yeah,
Is
in the morning and then that evening after work, yeah. He
that's
wasn't my little boy anymore. She fucked him up.
So, this is why it's so important that you have something to do on that day and you keep reminding yourself that he's here. She didn't fuck him up. He just transitioned earlier than you wanted him to, and this is why you need to do everything you possibly can to prevent yourself from saying things like that to you, because when you say things like that to yourself, it's going to cause you immense pain. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not true. We can have there are things that can be true that we don't need to say and to dwell on, and they can still be true without us dwelling on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he wants to go to the zoo. Because after you said that, like I have the zoo in my head now.
When you say that, I see an overnight trip as well, like a possible hotel room or something. Is the zoo in a different city?
Oh, well, actually maybe he's telling me just because the amusement park is closed doesn't mean the indoor water park is closed. So maybe he wants to do that instead. Maybe it's the indoor water park.
How do you understand that around
It's
hotel?
a hotel.
I see.
You can stay there overnight and do the water park. So maybe that's what.
You know what I think he's doing? He's trying to, and when you say the zoo, he's like, yes, I heard yes around that. But then I also see an overnight thing too, at a hotel. And when you say the water park, he's like, yes, that too. It's like, why can't we do something for 3 days straight? Why can't we do something those whole 3 days?
I gotta take off I gotta request the 10th then too.
You know what, sweetheart? You need to understand that your work, I'm fairly certain, is going to be very okay with that. You're giving lots of notice and you're saying this is the days that My son was beaten, and this is when he died. I'm not going to be functionable here. I need to take these days to go spend with my son. That was only 2 years ago. And your work is going to say anything you need, Christina. It's
No,
okay.
no, I know. I'm just stating that I only had did the 9th and the 12th, and mind you, instantaneously they approved it. As soon it wasn't even 5 minutes and they had approved it. I just am saying I have to request it off because I didn't request the 10th because I was trying not to be greedy, but in all reality, I always wanted to take all 3 days.
Okay, stop. What did you just say there? You said you made a choice based on fear, not based on love. Your initial choice was going to be, I don't want to be greedy. That's not making a choice based on love for yourself and Boo. That's making a choice based on fear of what will happen or won't happen if you do or don't make a choice. Every single time you make a choice based out of fear, it's going to blow up in your face. It's going to be extremely painful and negative. Every single time you make a choice based on love for yourself and your family, then it's going to bloom for you. So I know you didn't realize that when you were doing that, saying, oh, I'm only going to take 2 days off, that you were still making a choice based on fear. But this is bringing clarity to it so that you can see you don't need to
An
do that.
orb.
What?
There was just an orb.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Spirit's so strong, and I
No,
can't.
and that's why when I was listening to all the other messages, I was like, I need to just do the leap of faith and do what I have to do.
See, you're never gonna truly feel loved and supported, and you know, let me say that better. You're not going to feel how truly loved, supported, and how much God has you if you don't tell people what you really need and let them show up to help you. Sometimes we try to, like what you said, I don't want to be greedy. That's your idea of asking for what you need makes you greedy. That means you
No,
have to
but
talk to yourself for a minute. That's exactly where I'm bringing your attention. That doesn't make you greedy. That makes you smart. That makes you wise. That makes you a very good mother, knowing that you need to take that time for you and your son. Nothing about that is greedy. What you just heard is an old tape somewhere in the back of your head playing, saying that if you don't do this and if you don't do that, you're lazy, you're greedy, you're this, you're that.
that's what
That
I'm saying. Like I was brought up like,
I
you
know.
know,
That's why I tell people, whoops, we have two brains. We have our conscious brain and we have our subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain goes so fast that you can't keep track of it all the time. Your subconscious brain is made up of everything that you heard growing up and all of your previous experiences. And so if that's what you were taught growing up, then in order to change that subconscious brain, because what happens is it goes like this so fast, and you will make choices and decisions based on that subconscious brain over there that will have you taking only 2 days off instead of three when you really need three. And if you make choices and decisions, based on that old narrative, you're going to continue to line up with energy that's going to feel like, you know what, my child died and I can't even have enough time off. Like I have to go to work and life is hard, and it's going to feel that way. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
But if you shut that up, and I'll tell you how you shut that voice up, or I shouldn't say you shut that tape up, you change the tape. The way that
yeah,
you change the tape is by focusing on your conscious brain, by sitting down and getting up every single day and saying to yourself, Christina, and I'm going to give you some homework here. Between now and the end of October, especially, I want you to get up every single day and talk to yourself and talk to yourself 2 years ago. I want you to talk to that girl. I want you to see how much of a different place you are in now than that girl was in. And I want you to give comfort to her. And I want you to tell her how it's going to be okay and how proud you are of her for everything that she has done and accomplished to get you where you are now. And I want you to talk to yourself now. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what? I love you so much. And I'm so freaking proud of you for getting through this. I'm so proud of you for how you have not only got you through this, but you've got your other child through this as well. How he's healing. And that's because of what a great great job you are doing. I want you to talk about how proud you are of yourself for having the ability to identify what you need to heal and the courage and the bravery to ask for that, to seek that, because your son is learning vicariously through you. So he sees you prioritizing your emotional needs when you feel vulnerable, means that when he grows up and he gets vulnerable, he's going to do the same thing as what you're doing. He's going to prioritize his emotional needs as well so that he can do what he needs to do. And you change that old tape over here, it stops now, and it doesn't get passed on to the next generation. Now you're making choices and decisions based on this new tape that says we're healthy and we love ourselves, and we make choices and decisions based on what we need here to be good people for ourselves and our family and our children. And what I need to be a good mom to my son is those 3 days to do something that takes our minds off of it and to go hang out with my other son. I know it sounds crazy, but he's going to be with you in spirit in ways that are going to be mathematically impossible to be fluke, random, or chance when you've asked him to help line it up for you. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
He's so excited about this coming up. See, he wants you to plan it and get excited about planning it. And it's like 3 days an adventure. And do not despair if things all of a sudden get, a little bit reorganized right a week or two before you are about to go on this trip, because spirit will very oftentimes try to occupy your mind with things by making them go very fast so that you can't think about things in the wrong way. It's like, you know, doing these readings, for example. It doesn't matter what else is going on in my world. The second that I'm here, none of that exists anymore. So I feel better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes spirit will take us through those hard days by keeping us focused on something that is good and loving and important, but takes our mind off of the pain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you definitely got to get outside. You're in a bit of a depressive cycle, it feels like.
I
Um,
am.
yeah.
I want to cry every day.
You what?
I want to cry every day. It's hard to even get up to go to work. And I love my job.
So, sweetheart, I want you to cry every day then, okay? I want you to get up and I want you to cry. First thing you're going to do, make yourself cry. You're going to cry. You're going to say, you know what, before I get ready, before I get in the shower, before I do anything, I'm going to have my cry. You're going to sit there and you're going to talk to Timmy and you're going to cry, and you and him are going to cry together, and you're going to cry as much and as hard as you possibly can. Get it out of your system. And you say, all right, now I'm going to keep this until tomorrow, and then we're going to cry again tomorrow, bud. And if you do that, you give yourself a time and a place to cry, to let that energy out, then it's not going to build up and take over. But if you are constantly trying to not cry, then it is going to just keep spilling up. It's like a pot that is boiling on the stove. The harder you try to keep that lid on, the more it's going to just pop off. You've got to when a pot's boiling like that, what do? You move the pot over so the lid lets some of that steam out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let yourself grieve, sweetheart. I don't know how long it's going to take. You might wake up every day around this year, or you might wake up every year around this time of year and have to do the same thing and let yourself have time to cry. I don't know how many years it's going to take. I wish I could tell you. I've never lost a child. But I do know that the energy does change, and that if you are feeling like you need to cry, then you need to cry. And you need to let that out. And slowly but surely, as time goes on, it's going to feel different. But you can't stop energy in motion. Emotion, a dramatic swell of emotion is energy in motion. Let it flow, and then you will be able to make healthier choices and decisions.
Yeah. And I was doing okay, with the 4 days at work, but it's just like it's too hard right now. Like I need to have, I need that extra day on top of it because Sharif needs me. It's school time again.
You know what? Maybe that's what you need to verbalize to your work is you need to say, you know what, I'm so appreciative of you guys for your patience with me and your understanding in my situation. I want to say that first and foremost. Always begin a conversation with your gratitude. And then you say, so I need you to know I'm extremely grateful for that. And if we can just pull some time back, so I am only working 3 days, not four. And then, maybe on the other side of this by November, I'll be good to go again. But right now, I'm finding it too much. And I don't think they're going to have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to don't use the all or nothing scenarios here. If you're saying I can't do it, and it almost feels like I'll never be able to do it, that's not true. It's just that you can't do it right now because your
Yeah.
energy is focused on healing right now. But that doesn't mean that your energy is going to not be able to do that a month from now or 2 months from now, because this too shall pass, right?
Yeah.
This too shall pass. Yes, okay, so this down. Take the time to get your teeth done. Look into your teeth. I was about to ask you if somebody had a toothache because my tooth is throbbing. I don't even have teeth anymore. I have dentures. I haven't had teeth since I was 21 years old. I had a situation, but we were not going there. Anyways, I felt a throbbing tooth.
Yep.
So it's like this is letting you know. Remember, I said that when the dentist that is meant for you was ready, that the spirit would let you know.
Yeah.
You're finding out. This is letting you know that it's time that you need to look into that direction as well. If you get the extra day off work, take the time to care for yourself and look after yourself. And he will guide you to the right dentist and the right person. Um, but I can feel that that was hurting. And he's like, come on, mom, you can do this. Get up off the couch, have a shower, get out into the sunshine, plan our vacation. Because he's looking at this as, woohoo, we get a yearly vacation. Like it's going to be a yearly thing where you guys have this yearly vacation now. And he's
Yeah,
getting very,
Saturday, on his actual birthday, heavenly birthday, I want to do like a family dinner like we've been doing though. Like last year we did a family, so everybody's together, and then I order a cake and we sing to him.
I love that. He just said it's going to get colorful this year with grandpa, but that's okay.
Yeah, I can tell. He's just, I don't know. Ah, I can't
Give
even
it
talk
time.
about him.
Your family was one of the ones that I was up in the middle of the night praying for 50 million times. So just know Spirit's working on them. Everything happens at the right time and in the right season. And sometimes things have to fall apart so better things can come together. So if you're not at the season where it's fallen apart yet, then you can't be at the season where it comes back together yet either.
Yeah, well, I think it's gonna be coming because my brother's moving in motion himself, you know.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be moving, so
Yeah. These are all good things, even though they feel pretty hard. And I keep seeing butterflies. It's funny, you saw the orb, and I keep seeing butterflies and dragonflies in the corner of my eye. That's why my hand did that earlier. Um, I think he's trying to send you some
he
signs that,
sends me
what?
he sends me butterflies.
Yeah, that's real. That's him. Deep breaths, honey. He just gave you a huge bear hug. Your grandma, too. You're doing a better job than you realize. And not just that, but through you being brave enough to get up here and share the pain and the healing as you're going, there is so many other parents that I know that are watching this, that are learning and vicariously through you how to deal with this pain as well. And so just as I have to say that to you because I can feel the souls of people just thanking you, people you don't even know, thanking you for being brave enough to share your story so that now they know that their loved ones and their children are with them as well and how to connect and heal with them. They're just really grateful for you. It's about to get better. You're going to get through this. This energy is going to break. You're going to go have a shower. You're going to sage your house. Definitely, you need to sage your house because
Again?
that depressive, well, it's like,
Okay, okay, yep, I get you now.
you see what I'm saying?
I
If I
understand.
smoked
Yeah,
and then I cleansed all my walls and I sat down and smoked another pack of cigarettes, do I need to clean my walls again?
yeah.
So after you sage, did you emit a lot of depressive, lower vibrational pain energy?
What do you mean by that?
Since you last saged, have you felt a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of sadness, or any
Yes.
of those? Then it's stuck to your walls. So you have to cleanse it again. Every time you emit those giant energies, you have to understand, even if you can't see them, the spiritual bugs around you, they do. So if you have, you get up in the morning and I would suggest that because I just gave you homework to cry. So I would also get you to make what I call monster spray. That's what I call it for kids, but I use it for myself as well. And all that is you get a spray bottle and you fill it with water. You put a half a teaspoon of salt in there. You get a little stone like this, an obsidian, a black obsidian, something, a protective stone.
I
And you
wonder if they
put,
have.
pardon?
And put the cinnamon in there too.
You could do a little bit of cinnamon. I like to use vanilla, whatever works
Oh,
for you.
vanilla, that's what I was. Okay, sorry.
Vanilla, and then you mix that up. And so once you've cleansed your space and it's nice and clean, then when you sit down and you have the cry, then I want you to just spray all around you. And that will just cleanse that as well, so that that loosh that you just admitted gets now cleansed after you've admitted it, emitted it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
when we pull a dirty plate out of the cupboard and we use it, well, now we have to clean it again before we put it away. It's the same thing. When you emit that kind of energy, just because you can't see your tears, well, you see the physical tears, but you can't see the energy of your tears sticking to the wall doesn't mean that it's not, and doesn't mean that all those spiritual bugs can't sense it, like half-eaten apple on the kitchen counter. They will find it. So when you cry, cleanse your house afterwards. And because it feels like it's been at least a week or two since you last saged, yeah?
I saged last week, yeah.
Yeah. And then you've had a lot of negative energy or pain energy, I want to use. Not so much negative, because sometimes pain is very beneficial for us. So you've had that pain energy in there. You just got to cleanse that and have that spray bottle on hand so that when you emit that energy, you can cleanse it again as well. And it's not as a big of a job as it's kind of like cleansing each plate as you use it rather than stacking them all up in the dishes or in the sink and waiting till you have this big pile and then having to do a big job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So now my question is now I saged, but I haven't gone around the outside of the house with salt. And it has to be what salt again?
Whatever salt is floats your little boat, doesn't matter.
Oh,
I
it
would
doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. I would say stay away from table salt, if you will, because table salt is just poison. It's not good for us, and it's like the worst salt you could ever get. Stick to pink Himalayan sea salt or any kind of sea salt that you can find. And it's usually pretty cheap, couple of bucks at like the dollar store. That kind of salt, no problem, especially for salt going around your house. Um, but yeah, first you sage the inside of your house, then you salt around the outside of your house. And what you're going to find is that people's negativity can't get inside that salt line. So when your dad is like cussing you out or something, having a temper tantrum or something like that, those words won't make it past that salt line. Whereas if you don't have a line like that, when our loved ones speak words or say things or think things that would hurt us, even if we can't hear them say it, we feel it. Our soul feels it because there
Yeah.
is a spiritual cord connection between you and him. But like I said, when you have this salt line around, they cannot penetrate it. I'll leave you with a little visualization how I learned how powerful this is because it is powerful, let me tell you.
Oh wait, you're gonna talk about your niece, right? With the phone call?
Yes, you already heard
Yes.
this. So
Yeah.
I'll just
I
for
listened
everybody
to
else
you.
here now, because we just were in the punchline, but that's okay. So when I learned this, the first time Spirit got me to do this, I did the whole salt line around my whole property, and my niece was living with me at the time. She came home from wherever she was and went downstairs where she was, her bedroom was, and she got on the phone with her boyfriend, and they started having some ginormous fight or argument. But before she started arguing with him, she came up the stairs, walked outside, and walked to the other side of the salt line and started pacing in my yard on the other side of the salt line, screaming on the phone with him. And she hung up the phone when she was finally done screaming at him. She hung up the phone before she walked back through to the salt line. And I just literally stood there like, I can't even believe that's happening right now. Like, I didn't tell her I salted. I didn't tell her any of that. She didn't know any of that. But she wasn't even able to argue with her boyfriend inside my house. It pushed her on the other side of that salt line. That's how powerful that is. Nothing, once you've cleansed your space and you own your space, we are so powerful. We get to command that energy. So when you cleanse it and you own it, then they can't get back in. They just can't.
Yeah.
Aw, kiddo, this too shall pass. You will make it through this, and I'm so proud of you. You are doing an amazing job. Keep watching for those butterflies and keep getting up every single day, telling yourself what a great job you are doing. And if you don't think you are, look at yourself from 2 years ago, and then you tell me how far you have come.
No, I know, and I'm proud of myself, but I gotta tell you, it's hard sometimes.
I know.
Like at this time of year, it's like the hardest for me.
I know, sweetie. I know. That's why it's more important now than ever that you get up here and you say, you know what, I'm extra proud of you because I know how hard this is for you. I am so grateful that you are willing to do 2 minutes of thank yous every single day because this is what's better for me and for my son. I am not me, you, I'm talking as if I'm you. I am so grateful that I still have this son. I am so grateful for everything I've accomplished in these last 2 years, and I am so grateful to see where how much I accomplish in the next 2 years. I know this is hard, but it is not as hard as it was 2 years ago, and next year it's not going to be quite as hard as it is today. And I am so grateful that I've got signs and symbols for my son all over the place, and that I hear his voice. I am so grateful for. Do you see what I'm saying? I want you to know
Yeah.
that you can't feel pain and gratitude at the same time. It is literally impossible. So, those moments that you're sitting there feeling dramatic amounts of pain, you have to stop and recognize that means that you're telling yourself, he's dead, he's gone, he's not here, and you're replaying those scenarios. That is what you have to stop. That is what you have to stop, not by not thinking about it, because you can't not think about something. You stop it by purposefully telling yourself what to think about, purposefully doing exactly what I was telling you, your thank you fors and your reminders of what you want to think about. That is how you change that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
You
I thank God all the time for letting me still have a relationship with Timmy and stuff and not letting him be gone forever.
I want you to get creative with those. I want you to spend 2 to 5 minutes every day within the thank you fors and the things that you are dramatically grateful for. And
No,
when
I
you
did that this morning.
good, good. Keep doing that. That's your homework every single day until the other side of October. You understand?
Yeah.
every day. Get up, do your cries first because you can't. I don't want you going from your gratitude down to the cries. I want you to get up and I want you to do your cries and your emotion, get that out, cleanse your air, and then sit down and do your thank you fours. And if you can discipline yourself to do this every single day, you are going to feel dramatic changes in the way that you are emotionally handling this situation. You're not doing you or your son any good by um, some people think that, well, I can't experience that day and be happy. What kind of mom would that make me? No, 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 no. You're not doing anybody here or there any good by, feeling dramatic waves of pain in that day. It doesn't help anybody. You help yourself and your children here and them by getting deeper connections to them, by understanding their presence even more, by feeling and seeing signs of them here in your present. That's how you help yourself and your family moving forward, right?
Yeah.
So you have to keep disciplining yourself every single day to do this. I know it's not a huge exercise, it's 2 to 5 minutes, but it has the same effect on how you feel about your life as brushing your teeth has on your life. So what I mean by that, you've probably heard this analogy before, but I'm going to say it again. If you go 2 days without brushing your teeth, what happens? All day long, your mouth feels
Feel
icky. You
gross.
got
Yeah.
bad breath. People are going to be like, whew, you stink. And they're going to be, pushing away from you. And if you let that go on long enough, then you got pain and rot and decay, right? All of
Yeah.
that is avoided with just 2 minutes of discipline, of brushing your teeth. All of that pain, all of that discomfort, all of that embarrassment, whatever it is eliminated. You don't even think about it when you get up every single day and you brush your teeth. That is the equivalent, or talking to yourself for those 2 to 5 minutes every single day. Spirit told me that's washing your soul, that's brushing your soul. And it has the same effect on your life as brushing your teeth does. You might not notice it as dramatically when you do it every single day. You're just going to line up in energies that feel good and are just you're not going to think about it very much during the day. But if you miss even 1 or 2 days, it's very short time before you feel the effects of the buildup of that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to do it every single day, and especially in the situations that you're in right now, um, and in the heavy energies that you're wading through. Be extra proud of yourself, of the fact that you're getting up every single day and you're putting one foot forward in front of the other, and you are thriving. And I promise you something else, that your son might not say it to you right now. He's too young to really see it now. But when he gets older and he starts, looking back at this entire experience through adult eyes, I promise you that boy is going to come to you one day and say, thank you, Mom, for everything that you did for us. I don't know how you did all that. You are my hero. That day will come. It will come. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. You will get through this. This too shall pass. Go take a shower, get yourself outside, do your little homework every single day, and watch how quickly the energy changes. Put together the dinner if you want. Watch the colorful chaos ensue. And if that happens, just sit back and smile, knowing it's better than sitting around feeling the absence and the pain. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, sweetie, he's so there with you, loving you guys along the way. I hope this was helpful, kiddo.
It was.
Oh, just would know that.
Thank you.
I wish I could just give you such a big hug, all of you. I just wish I could give you a big hug. That's the only bad thing about this, doing this on video, is that I can't actually physically hug you. But just know that I want to.
Oh, I'll make it my mission to come there and do a vacation. Maybe next year I could do a whole vacation.
Oh, we will, honey. They're already working on it. It's one of the things they said in my prayers last night when I was up and having all these praying for all these people. They said, "Oh, don't you worry. We're working on you guys." I saw us coming together with a hug. So it will happen at the right moment, at the right time. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I really gotta pee. Ha! So I'm gonna let it go for now. Somebody keeps talking. I can't really see what it says.
Thank you. She said thank you. She appreciates you.
I appreciate you guys more than you will ever, ever, ever know. You guys helped me live my dream life. So thank you. Love you guys. Mwah. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you guys again. Well, you for sure next Tuesday. Take care.
Yeah. All right, bye.